We're going to move into the heart of our theme this week that begins with a Facebook post reflection that was shared by the Reverend Meg Riley. Meg is one of the current moderators of the Unitarian Universalist Association and for a long time was the minister of the Church of the Larger Fellowship, our faith's biggest online and correspondence based congregation. She wrote this. In prayers this morning, a deep cry. The kind you can only have in your own home when you're the only person there with your cat lying across your heart chakra. Realized in the cry that I have been using my anxiety as a weird, miserable flotation device. As if by being anxious, I am resisting all the evil around me. Putin, white supremacy culture, all of it. And that my being anxious is not helping the world. What I need to practice is alignment to what is alive. And I thought of one of my most profound teachers that I ever encountered. It was one of the imprisoned people who were part of the congregation of the Church of the Larger Fellowship. We were offering a class called Full Spectrum Joy, developed for free world people and adapted for imprisoned people by Amanda Aikman. The premise of the class was that you engage in a practice that leads you to more joy using each of the colors of the rainbow as a reminder. Now, the practice for green was to find something alive and pay attention to it. The way the class worked was that people who took them would write their comments and forward them, and we would compile them and keep them circulating. So we got to see what they were learning and sharing. One of the people wrote about green, that he was in solitary confinement with no windows, so he thought there was nothing alive in the cell. But then he saw an ant on the floor. He spent time lying on the floor studying the ant, and he indeed felt more joy. I think of this when I feel as if I am surrounded by death culture that nothing is alive. If that man could find something alive, how preposterous that I could tell myself I cannot. Today it is music to help me lay down my burden and take infinitesimally small concrete steps towards collective liberation. I'm going to invite us to take a moment to let Meg's words settle in a meditative and reflective moment. So, I invite you to find a comfortable position. Where does aliveness go unnoticed around you? Where are the shoots of aliveness poking their blades through the ground of your being? Where can you look and not see life if you looked closely enough? What do we have to loosen to notice? Anxiety? Being sure? Rigidity? Expectations? Declarations? Despair? Awash in the sea of living, clinging to postures and practices and ways of being that tell us They are life but serve only their own ends. We remember that feeling anxiety is not proof of life nor a requirement for living. What could we loosen to find joy? Joy in the struggle, full spectrum or partial? What tightness in our souls can delight vanquish? What priorities to reorganize, to swap focus from death and evil to life abundant could we make? What cry, what sigh, what release, what simplicity of simply finding something alive and paying attention to it? What must we loosen? What must we loosen to remember that life holds us and is all around us?